So I'm back from Mexico, as everyone knows. And when I was there, I discovered something really good. Now, if you happen to be someone that's a chocolate addict, you know who you are out there. If you really love the chocolate and you're wanting something healthy, because let's face it, the chocolate bars with all the fat and the sugar and things are not really healthy. I have got a great alternative for you in here. Let me see if I can get this to turn up. Oops, if I can get this. There, see that? Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Not only is it chocolate, it's thick chocolate. And so yummy. Oh, so good. I have this every morning. And I'm going to share with you my recipe on how to make this. It's called chocolot. This was made by the ancient Mayans with a few little tweaks here that have come along. Originally, the cacao, comes from many parts of Mexico, and they would take it and they would have the drink, and this was only for the elite during that the old Mayan days, and they would call it bitter water. That was the name of it. Chocolate without sugar is very, very bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter. Anyway, so they would call it bitter water. And they used to have it for ceremonial things and things like that. Anyway, so this recipe has been handed down and handed down and handed down. Now, when the Spanish came, they started introducing things like sugar, etc. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make the chocolate. So I think that we'll go ahead and go over here. I was just going to tell you about it, but I'm going to go over here and I'll go ahead and start to make it. So just go ahead and make it. Why not? Okay, so let me go over here. So we've got Cooking with G morning here. See if I can get this put over here. Yeah, this will work. Okay, there's my chocolate. And if I can get this out. Excuse me. So, what we have here is my pitcher. And I like this pitcher. It's got a little divot there, which works really well. I've got my chocolate. Get some other things here. I've got honey. I have two kinds of honey I'm going to be using today. And the thing with the honey is you want to have raw honey. You don't want the one you buy in the grocery store that's been heated. The raw honey has the pollens and the enzymes and all of the good things in it. The chocolate in itself, the unsweetened, you don't want to use the sweetened one. You want the 100% cocoa or cacao. that in the powdered is better if you're doing the diet type things, because it has all of the fat, most of the fat content is taken out of the powder, versus if you use a baker's chocolate, which you can do if you don't have to worry about the fat content, etc. You can use a baker's chocolate with it. So we need this. We need these. Hot sauce. Chilies. Now these are the ancho chili, which means it's more of a smoky. It's not really hot, spicy hot. So we're going to start with and if you want, you can be much better than I am. I'm just using regular tap water, but you can use, of course, bottled water is good. So I'm going to make what they call the ceremonial size, which is the larger size. 7 ounces, so it's just under a cup. Okay. Let me see if I can get my kind of finally perfected my recipe the other day and wrote it down. So we want 7 ounces of water. We're going to do 1. Now, of course, I can't move this now. Let me get this open. And I just happen to have the scissors. I like to use it with the little ancho chili. It's a little easier. So I'm going to open that up. I'm going to stick my little ancho chili in here. Taking out the seeds. It doesn't matter whether you keep the seeds or you take them out. It's just easier to strain it when you don't have as many. I cut this up a little bit. Okay. Okay. As you see, it still has some seeds. You don't have to be really. So 1 ancho chili, which gives it a little bit of a smokiness, and a vanilla bean. You can use regular vanilla. Let me grab my don't know where the other one went. So when I was in Mexico, I got real vanilla beans. They are not cheap. So we're going to take some vanilla bean. I'm going to cut this open. I'm going to open it up so we get the most flavor out of it. And I don't know if you guys know, I didn't know I just recently found out, but the vanilla bean comes from part of an orchid, a special orchid, and that's what the vanilla bean comes from. I thought that was really interesting. So far I've got my ancho chili and my vanilla bean in here, and I'm going to put it in the microwave and heat it up, so that kind of helps to take the extractions of things out. So I'm going to heat this up. I'm going to put it in there for a couple of minutes. Okay. Heating it up for 2 minutes. So while we're doing that, I'll just go ahead. It's a very, very simple recipe, and I'll just go ahead and read it to you. 7 ounces of water, 1 ancho chili pepper, some vanilla. You boil the ancho chili and vanilla bean and strain out the chili and bean when it's done steeping. You can use either 2 squares of baker's chocolate unsweetened if you want it much more creamy, and 6 tablespoons of powdered cocoa, or use 8 tablespoons of powdered cocoa. Then it's 1/8 teaspoon allspice, 1/8 teaspoon cinnamon, a couple little sprinkles of the salt. I use 10 drops of chili pepper, chili sauce. I'm not one that likes a lot of heavy spice. It sounds like that's a bit, but it's actually not. You want it just to have, kind of a little bit of bite. Helps to amp everything up with it. It's really good. 1 tablespoon of avocado honey and 1 tablespoon of gallberry honey. And then you want to froth it up, and then you chill it. It's usually drank, in Maya culture, it's drank cold. So you see the recipe has no milk. The honey helps to keep your sugars balanced much better, and it's got all the extra, like I said, the enzymes and the other things that come with the raw honey, which is really healthy for you. The powdered chocolate is very, very high in antioxidants. Really very, very healthy food. Chocolate on itself is very, very healthy. It's when you add all the cocoa butters and the fats, the sugar content, that it becomes not so good. So most candy bars you get are like a low percentage of the higher percentage, the more bitter it gets. But this is something you can use, and if you really love chocolate, this will cut those cravings right away, and you can have it every day, and it really does help with things. I've been losing good weight with it, so all right. So we're taking this out, and I'm just going to go ahead and strain those out up there for now. If you want, if you want that ancho chili to be stronger, you could just leave that steep in there for a longer time. And even if you wanted to, you could steep everything and then strain the chilies out just before you have your chocolate, if you want a stronger, smokier taste to it. I happen to like that really smoky flavor of that ancho chili with this. So, but now I have to, of course, now I can't find my strainer. Okay, here we go. So we're going to strain this out real quick. I will probably, I just want to get the little seeds out and stuff. And find my little chili bean in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put these to the side. And when I'm done, I may just add them back in, because I do like that smoky flavor. So, you're always going to want to heat your water. There we go. Let's catch these last couple of little, there we go. Heat your water, because otherwise your chocolate doesn't melt. Okay. So what we're going to do now is measure out our chocolate. So we're going to do 8 tablespoons. We have our chocolate. We're going to do a little allspice. So you see that's a 1/8, so we're going to do a little allspice. These you can adjust to taste. Cinnamon, I'm going to put some extra cinnamon. I'm going to do 1/8 cinnamon today, because actually the cinnamon is very good for your blood, to regulate your blood sugar. So you can't go wrong with the cinnamon. And it just tastes so good. We're doing the cinnamon, we're doing the raw honey. Rinse this off real quick. So I'm going to go in. I want to get the chocolate and the honey real quick. So different honeys have different properties depending on the flowers they have. Some are a little more medicinal than others. But always check with your, you can check with your local honeys and see what they have. The avocado is kind of a nice, rich, kind of a buttery type of a flavor. It's really nice. And the gallberry, very nice flavor for that too. The gallberry, they say, is one of the most medicinal type honeys. Very healthy. The avocado is very dark. Usually the darker, the stronger the taste of the honey. So it's a personal preference what you get. But just make sure that you get raw honey. You don't want to get the one that's had all the good things baked out of it. Then you're just getting straight sugar, and you might as well just put regular sugar in it, because you're not getting any of the other health benefits that you're getting from the raw honey. Not going to let it go to waste. That was good. Oh, it's got such a nice flavor to that. Now, what we're going to use, and I think you could probably get one of these online, but I picked mine up while I was in Mexico. They make them on a lathe by hand in Mexico, and this is what you use to froth your liquid. Let me see if I can put it down here so you can see. I'm going to put this down in here, and you just start working this. And it's going to mix all your stuff up. Put a nice froth on it. Now I make mine in the morning, and then I leave it all day and have it the next day. You can do this, drink it warm if you want, but traditionally it's drunk cold. I don't know, I don't think you could see, but there is a big froth on there. And these mix them up quite well. My 10 drops of, a lot of times they'll use cayenne pepper in this. They'll usually use okay, went a little bit more than 10, so it's going to be spicy next time. And the spice, the cayenne, the chilies help to increase your metabolism. So if you can take hotter chili, you know, I'm just a very lightweight. I can't do too much hot, spicy foods. But if you can take it, it does increase your metabolism. So on the whole, we've got all the good enzymes and pollens and propolis. These things can help the natural honeys to your region. If you have allergies, it can help to offset some of your allergies. So it's good for that way. The chocolate is a really, really high, one of the highest foods for antioxidants. So that's excellent for that. Cinnamon helps to balance your blood sugars, keep them in balance. The honey as well does not spike it like it does a regular sugar. So, let me clean this out real quick. My little. You should probably be able to buy these online, these little mixers. If any want to know, ask me later and I can give you the name of it. I can't think of what it's called. Right, it starts with an M. Moliana or something. I don't know. Don't ask me now. Anyway, so I think I'm going to put my anchos back in. I'll take out the seeds just so I don't have the little seeds in there. But I think I'm going to let it steep in there overnight because I do like that kind of a little smoky taste that it gives it. Those are easy to fish out before you have your drink in the morning. So leave those in there for now. And we're ready to pop it into the refrigerator. Smells so good. And now I get to have my nectar of the gods this morning. So good. Sometimes I'll drink half of it and I'll put it back and kind of sip on it throughout the day because it's just so rich that it's like a nice bittersweet chocolate. Nice bittersweet chocolate flavor to it. So again, I just wanted to share that because it has really been working wonders for me. So if I find something that's really excellent, I'm always happy to pass that along. When I heard of this, when I was in Mexico, and I started reading about it, they did have one place that made it at Cacao. Oh, Cacao is what the name of the place is, and I went there specifically because I was looking up this Mayan drink, and they did make it there, but they serve it hot, of course. But they did have these little frothing, little mixing frothing agents there. And I wanted to buy one of those, so I went there and tried it, and I was thinking, this sounds horrid. Cocoa in water just sounds putrid. But I had it hot, even hot. I was quite pleasantly surprised, although I do like it once it's sat overnight. It's just, I think it just even gets more of a richness to it. And the flavors have had a chance to really work with each other and meld with each other. So I really do kind of prefer it on the cold. Who knows, when it's really cold outside, maybe I'll prefer it hot. We'll see. But again, you can adjust it to taste. There are a lot of different spices you could use in it. Maybe a little extra. Sometimes I put a little nutmeg. Nutmeg is also good in it. Some nutmeg and some other things with it as well, which are good. I could see that you could also use this if you wanted to do some kind of cut up banana and use this like a little topping over it. Would be very nice to have as well. Endless. So I'm going to close this out now, and now I have my, it's actually a tea. I had bought this as a teacup, but I think it makes a very nice, with my little chocolate things, it makes a very nice ceremonial chocolate drink. Now, when they do this, it can be quite strong, and some people that have had it have almost a quote-unquote religious experience with it, that they will almost start to go into a meditative state. Some have had some hallucinations, etc. I think it's just very relaxing for you and can get the heavy mind out of the way for those that are so inclined. They do use it for that as well. Although I have not seen any hallucinogenic properties in it myself. Maybe if they were adding some LSD or something. or ayahuasca, or whatever it is they're taking nowadays. It does, like I said, it is very relaxing, and one can use it in more of a type of a ceremonial type of a manner, in a very nice meditative state. It's just, and have that consciousness that this is really aiding your form. It's really healthy, very, very beneficial. So you could actually use it in a spiritual type of a context as well. So on that note, I'm going to close this out and go over and enjoy to the last drop my Mayan Xocolatl. Namaste. Have a great day, guys. Bye. I'm waiting for Siddhananda pretty soon. Yeah, it's time to start, because pretty soon we'll see who's on the other side come to visit. So while we're on that subject, I'll just add this. This is not something that we look to do. It wasn't something to sit here and said, wow, I think that would be a really neat thing. Let's give it. Just happened to, that door just happened to open. And if like I said, if the universe opens the door and I can aid in some manner, I've given I made that commitment to do that. And so this happened to open, and apparently they're coming, and it's the same issues as when one is informed, for the most part. Now, again, we have the ones like the Mayan priest that was really in a hell realm, that was actually burning, no joke, in hell realms for eons. I mean, this is, the Mayan, when the sacrifices were going on, it wasn't around the corner a week and a half ago. I mean, he's been in a perpetual hell realm state for many, 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 many years, hundreds of years. So if we can aid him, and we can move him forward to those who can aid him, and I'm really happy to find out that he was able to get help, and he has now moved forward and is out of the hell realm and are ready to, in the not too distant future, come back into corporeal form and make some things right. So we're really, 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 really happy to do this work. I joke, though, all the time. I say they don't pay well. We get a lot of personal satisfaction, but hey, they're not giving it up. Anyway, it's all good. But that's my little joke with it, that we say, well, it's a great job, but the pay's lousy. That, and I'm hauling around rocks every day. We never know who's coming in from where. It's always been interesting to see, and some of the ones have been very interesting, like the other one that was interesting was the recent Baba, who came in and was going to astound us with his great knowledge, and he found out once Big Baba light came to him that he really knew nothing, and so now he's really just beginning his path. So again, it's good to see him move forward to really begin his journey and find out what all these externals about. And I think that's the thing that I've found most. I can only speak for India at the present time, because that's where I've lived for 5 years, and I kind of know that societal structure from having lived there, that the Brahmins are Brahmins by birth, finally saw that somebody had written an article about talking that the caste system was not originally by birth. Well, somebody else has finally said it. So that was on one of the sites recently. Maybe since a guy is saying it, not myself, maybe some will pay attention. But once again, he's not an Indian by birth. He is a foreigner, but lived in that culture for a long time and has written many, many books. So I think he's a little more well respected there than I am. But I'm sure he will get some flack for that as well. But indeed, that system is, the caste system is based on what are your proclivities. And a genuine Brahmin should be a knower of Brahman, a realized being, that one has gone beyond mind and all these things, that now are in a position to aid society and to give things that would be of benefit. You don't get that by birth, okay? Just saying, doesn't happen by birth. So anyway, the original caste system has different practices for different layers and types of society, whether it's the Kshatriya, the warriors, or whether it's ones that are doing more working class, working with your hands, or one that is the priestly class, the knowers of Brahman, etc. There are different types of practices to suit different types of temperaments. Originally, that's what it was for. Okay, so you can have the best practice for your temperament. It's gotten a little off over the years. So hopefully we see that begin to be righted. Another thing I might as well just bring up, as long as it's just kind of floating by this morning. Again, I never stop and think about what's going to be said on the video. I just started to make the chocolate, okay, chocolot. But some other things are coming up, so I might as well just talk about it now while I'm here. The 2012 Mayan calendar, as one knows, came to a conclusion, and people were worried that the world was ending. Well, the world wasn't ending, but a new cycle is taking place. It started in 2012. Things are really started to amp up and going into the next phase of it, as you know, with the blood moon. We had a number, as you saw, that were waiting to, do their meditation and come out right after that point, because it's a very auspicious time to be doing that. But what's going on planetary-wise now, and this is something I've said before, that it's time to right the scales. It has been very patriarchal for thousands of years again. And that balance has become very imbalanced because of the patriarchal type of a mentality that's been pushing society. Well, now it's swinging back the other direction again to a more matriarchal. But hopefully this time it doesn't swing to where it's a total matriarchal society. We need to come to a balance where it really comes in between and understand that these energies have to be balanced. It can't be one extreme, it can't be the other extreme. We have to come to the point to know spirit is balance. It's not male, it's not female. In the end, one has to have that balance point. So, it's just going to go through another cleansing, another, some more drama is going to be happening. It's not by accident that we finally have potentially a woman president that might be coming up. Okay. more women, Indira Gandhi, we've had more women starting to come to the forefront in recent history. And it's all, again, due to some of this shift. A lot of the ones, we've come back and vowed to come back as female to help this integration, etc., happen. Time to bring some more balance to the planet. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm not on the feminine bandwagon. But things do need to be righted, and we need to come out of this military mindset. There are things that could be done in a little better way. We hope to God, and sorry, Republicans, if there's any out there listening that happen to like Trump, he would have us in a war so quick it would make your head spin. This man has absolutely no diplomacy whatsoever. Absolutely none. And if he thinks that would fly, what he says to women, that he would just go off to a foreign dignitary, and if that's the way he would interact with them, we would be in a war before you knew it. So again, you look at it and go, what are people thinking to be behind someone like Trump? Just because he has a lot of money doesn't mean that he has knowledge. It could mean that he's just, excuse it, but very unethical, has no compass. And from what I've seen, this man has no moral compass. He's a walking time bomb for what it would be for politics. Okay, if they think that he is going to be one that's going to be for workers' wages, etc., think again. If you remember right, when they wanted to bring more healthcare things into the system, when people started working a full-time job, all the big corporations, all the men with big money, made sure nobody could work full-time. So again, if you think because somebody's got a lot of money that they're going to be here for the workers, they are out for themselves and the bottom line. That's it. For themselves and the bottom line. Doesn't matter who they hurt along the process. Well, the one thing that I do like is that show that Boss Undercover, where you get the hires up, and if you've never watched it, I suggest one day that you do take time to watch that show. These guys are in their ivory towers, thinking they understand how to run the company. They're running the company, CEOs of big major companies, and they go out and have to do the job that their workers are doing. They find out 9 out of 10 they're unqualified. Frankly speaking, they're not good at the job. All they can do is manage. But they find out the job is not as easy as they think it's going to be, and that people are trying to be very dedicated. They really care about doing their jobs. For the most part, if you give people a chance, and you give them some respect and some ability to go forward, they would be quite loyal. You would think that hopefully some of these bosses get a clue from that. Well, what's nice is, after the program, the couple that they've dealt with, they do something for. But that's it. It would be nice if they actually got a wake-up call and raised minimum wage and actually started to give across the board to all their workers their due. Okay, just be fair. Just be a little fair. Okay, it's all that people are asking for. They want to live. You know, it's sad when you're working a job and you can't even make ends meet. You're barely putting food on the table, barely making your rent, and you're working your heart out. You go home exhausted. This is, you know, again. So we hope that through some things like this, that, and thank God, I mean, I'm glad they have that show, that these guys are getting clued, but they need to be clued in. You don't just give $20,000 to that one person and give them a vacation and some money for their kids. They need to look at all the workers that are working for the company and make the living conditions better for all of them. So I hope to see that that begins to take place as well. So on that note, nothing else is coming up at the moment, so I am going to finally close this out. And I will see you a little later online when we finish today's session. Namaste. Hi guys. Bye.